it depends. If your father goes back to the so-called white man who was Edom in the Bible, then we're enemies, because Esau and Jacob were our arch enemies, even though they're brothers.
Born enemies.
See, in the Bible, it tells you in the book of Genesis, it tells you about Jacob and Esau. They were born to Isaac and Rebekah, two dark-skinned people, and they had fraternal twins, not identical, but fraternal. Oh shit, they in there taking pictures. But anyway, so Esau came out looking. Read it.
This is Genesis 25, and I'll just start at 23. It says, "And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels."
So the Lord told Rebekah, who was the mother of these two, that two nations are in your womb. Even though they are twins, they're going to be two separate nations of people. Okay? Go ahead.
"And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger."
Now, one of these is going to be stronger than the other. Okay? And one of them shall serve the other. Go ahead.
"And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb."
Right, but
and
she didn't have identical twins, she had fraternal twins.
"And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment."
Now he came out red all over. Now, what color are you? Pink. Pink is a derivative of red. There we go.
I knew where you were going. That's why I said pink.
And I'm not directing this I'm not directing this exactly towards you, because you might be an Israelite. We don't know yet. So the so-called, well, I'll just say the so-called white man, okay?
No pictures.
He came out red because your blood shows forth through your skin because you don't have any melanin. You see what I'm saying? So he said he came out red and hairy all over. Now, white people are especially hairy for the most part. Like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Very hairy. Okay, go ahead.
"And they called his name Esau."
And he called his name Esau, which in the Hebrew means wasted away is he. His melanin was wasted. That's why they call him wasted away, because he had no melanin. Go ahead.
"And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel."
It said after that his brother came out. But they didn't mention anything about his skin or anything. Because he was normal. He was dark skinned like everybody else at that time. You do realize that the first people were dark skinned, right? Adam and Eve were dark skinned.
You know I wasn't taught that way, so
But it's just
no,
common.
I don't know.
I know you weren't taught that way, neither were we.
Okay.
But it's just common sense. Because see, you gotta realize when you have a lack of melanin, that's a deficiency. It's a natural deficiency. Blonde hair and blue eyes is a recessive gene, not a dominant. You see what I'm saying? When you get melanoma if you sit in the sun too long.
Well, I haven't.
Now there was no sunscreen back then.
No.
So Adam and Eve had to be dark skinned. It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they made from the dirt and dust of the earth.
Yeah, God said he made him from the dirt, and the dirt is dark in color. It's a deep dark. The deeper you go, the darker it gets. The more to the top, it gets lighter. You know. So that's why we come in all different shades.
Adam basically just means from the ground too.
Right, Adama.
From the earth.
So this is what we're talking about. These two brothers, Jacob and Esau. Now it says one will be stronger than the other. Now the so-called white man and the so-called Negroes, who's stronger?
No picture.
No pictures,
No
please.
picture.
No pictures.
You don't know?
I know what you're looking for, but
Well, what do you, it's not what I'm looking for. It's okay. Let's break it down like this. You're boxers, right? Who are the champs in boxing? Are they black? Okay, there you go. What about sports? Baseball used to be an all-white sport till Jackie Robinson came. Now what is it? Sports is all brown, right? Okay, good. Basketball too.
very dominated. I agree.
Okay, so yeah, so right. So we're stronger physically than the so-called white race. We're stronger mentally because we went through all those years of slavery and whipping and being taught, said you can't read and all these things. And look at us now. We're a thriving people. We have even surpassed the so-called white man in intelligence on certain things. Not everything, but certain things.
And we're all still, I don't want to say evolving because I don't want to piss anybody off.
Well, you could say that. You could say that.
But you know what I mean.
But a lot of inventions, and I'll tell you this, a lot of inventions that came in the days of slavery, the slaves invented, but the white man got credit for it because they were property. You can't have your own invention if you're property.
I can't argue that.
So it says one shall be stronger than the other. that's talking about us being stronger than the so-called white man. And it says one shall rule over the other. Now, we are under rulership to the so-called white man. We're in slavery to him to this day. But when who the world calls Jesus returns, who is a dark-skinned man, by the way, a so-called Negro himself, when he returns, he's going to overturn that, and we are going to be ruling, and they are going to be our slaves, just like we were their slaves.
That's right.
That's only fair, you know. Give me Revelations 13 and 9.
All right. Hold on a second.
This is Revelations chapter 13 verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
See, that's plain. Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Must be killed. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So the saints are patiently waiting till we can have the people who put us in captivity themselves. See, they teach you all wrong. They taught you that God loves everybody and everything should be equal, but truly there's no equality in what's happened to us. Even the Native American Indians, there's no equality in what's happened to them. You know?
You're not going to get an argument from me on that.
Right.
I agree.
Good. So we have to make it even. An eye for an eye, so to speak, you see? So we have to get back. That's why it says, he who's killed with the sword must be killed with the sword, because it's only right. You know? I mean, look at people who commit murders today. When somebody murders somebody's family, that family of the murdered person, they want justice. They want him to die.
Is there any soldiers in here? Or ex-soldiers?
No. I mean, we're soldiers.
No,
not in the military. No.
Yeah,
No.
and you got what I meant. And,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
get
we're
what
not
you meant.
military.
I was just
we're not
wondering.
ex-military. But you do have some people that are. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. When somebody dies at the hand of another, they want justice.
Absolutely.
They want death.
Absolutely.
They want him to die. I mean, when you got somebody who's on death row and they go and it's their day of execution, you don't see that room empty. That room is full of people looking.
You know, the Boston bomber.
Yeah, the Boston bomber. Everybody wanted him to die.
And they gave him a death sentence.
And they gave him that. So, see, when white people say, well, you can't say that, and that was a long time ago, but you look at the Boston bomber, they don't let him live. They don't say, well, it's all in the past, let it go. They want his head.
9/11.
See? And there's no statute of limitation on murder. So if somebody murders you, you have the right to get your revenge. You see?
No argument here either.
Right.
I mean, you're.
All right.
What?
I got that
This is-
preset.
Let him go.
Is it?
This is Psalms 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art thou to be destroyed?
That's America, the daughter of Babylon. That's America, who are to be destroyed.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dash thy little ones against the stones.
You hear that? He said, happy shall he be that taketh the little ones and dash them against the stone. If I take a little 2-year-old child by the foot and swing him on the pavement and break his head open, happy shall he be.
That's right.
Read it again. You're processing it and you said no. Read it again.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
See? Because that's in the name of payback. Not just to do it, It's in the name of payback. You understand? Because what they did to us was so much worse. See, we're not going to pay them back exactly as they paid us back, because they the so-called white man raped our woman right in front of us. You had a married man and woman slave. Well, the white man would take the woman and rape her every night. You know, we're not going to do that because that's adultery. We're not going to do that. Yeah,
They even showed you that in Braveheart. Right?
Yeah,
They would show you
Primo Nocte. I think first night it was called in Latin.
That shows you that they were Israelites. That's why that shit would be done to the
That's
Irish,
right.
Okay?
William Wallace
Humiliate
was an
them.
Israelite. That's right. He was dark. See, all those people in Braveheart should have been dark skinned. They should have been this brother's complexion. Because William Wallace was a black man. Okay? And yeah, they had Primo Nocte, which means first night. they would sleep with the woman before the husband would even get to sleep with him. And because what did King Longshanks? He said, if we can't kill him and move him off, we'll breed him out.
That's why they would go with them, try to get that, knock that woman up before her husband was able to plant his seed.
Right. See, that's pure wickedness.
Let me fucking explain the priest.
This is Revelations 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
I just read that. Did you? Yeah. What was you gonna say?
That's spiritual.
Kind of law. You haven't said anything that I disagree or have an argument for yet.
Okay.
Well, maybe the little babies.
It says it though.
No, I'm with you.
It says it.
But
I know it's hard to. I know it's hard to swallow doing that.
Right.
Because in this society, they've told you that, you know, you should forgive if anybody does. Like they want you to be. They want everybody to be like Martin Luther King. They were throwing rocks at his head, and Martin Luther King said non-violent.
Right.
That's what they want you to be. But why is that? Why do they want you to be non-violent when they're the one throwing the rocks?
right.
You see, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So it's hard to comprehend because you've been trained to think that way. You've been trained to think, I'm not an elitist, so I should be non-violent and forgiving, while the elitists say, I want to be violent. You see?
Can I grab a
Hold on.
going back to
I'm having trouble, like, where you're going with what's your agenda? I mean,
well, the
if
agenda,
I'm not,
the agenda in a snap is this: we are the Israelites. We are waking our people. These people over here on this part of the sign, they don't know that they're Israelites. They think that they're African American or Hispanic or Native American. They don't know who they are because the so-called white man has destroyed our heritage during slavery. They didn't let us read, even though we knew how to read. They didn't allow us to read, okay? And when we did read the Bible, they only told us love everybody and this and that. You know, they fed us, they spoon-fed us certain things out of the Bible, but they didn't want us to know everything. Okay, so our people are disenfranchised, they're lost, so we're waking them up to who they are because we are approaching the return of the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ.
That's right.
He's on his way back, and he's not, you know, where's Chester?
so
Hold on. Let me tell you what we're. I'm giving you the spiel. See, the man on the left right here, everybody thinks that this guy is coming back. Okay, but that's not Jesus. That's a man named Cesare Borgia, who actually lived in the 1400s. He's the son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. That's true. That's facts. Okay, so this man on the right is a portrayal of who the world calls Jesus. In the Bible, it tells you, in the Bible, in Revelation, it tells you this is what he's going to look like. It's just an artist's depiction, but that's more of what he would actually look like than the other picture.
yeah, and I can agree with that also because we really don't know what Jesus Christ looks like.
Well, it tells you in Revelation. It tells you his hair was like the pure wool. Well, it tells you that in Daniel's, but yeah, give Revelation 1 and give me Daniel 7 and 9.
You don't have to convince me that he doesn't look like.
I just want to show you. Because you said we don't know what you said. We don't know what he looks like. So I just want to show you in the Bible what he looks like.
Okay.
All right, this is Revelations chapter 1, and I'll start at 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write in a book.
Right? So what he saw, he wrote in this book.
And send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
The Son of Man is who? Jesus, right? Okay, go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
See us, we're wearing garments almost down to the foot. Okay, go ahead.
And girt about the
Where's the
paps.
picture? Where's the picture? Read it again.
clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
A girdle is like a war belt, okay? Helps you from getting stabbed in the gut. Okay, go ahead.
His head and his hairs.
His head and his hairs. Head and hairs. Okay, go ahead.
Were white like wool.
Like wool. What color? Look at that brother's hair. That's woolly. He had woolly hair, but it was all gray. It was pure gray. Or white, you know, go ahead.
As white as snow.
Right.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because he liked to drink wine. And when you drink wine, your eyes get red. It tells you that.
You're right.
It tells you that in Ecclesiastes. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now this is brass right here. Hold this up. This plate right here is brass. What is that a derivative of? What main color? No, what main color? You got Roy G. Biv. You ever heard of Roy G. Biv? The colors in the spectrum.
Oh,
red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So, this is brown.
Brown?
In other words. Okay.
I'll go with that.
Read it.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So this is fine brass, okay? It's a form of brown, right?
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now even if you burn popcorn, which is white, if you burn it too long, what does it get?
Black.
Black, right. So his feet, and they said his feet were like fine brass as if they burned. So if your feet look like this, your whole body's gonna look the same. Usually your feet are lighter than the rest of your body, okay? So he's a dark-skinned man. There's no way around it. That's all. Now give me Daniels. Daniels. Give me Daniels.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down,
This is the vision that Daniel saw, okay?
and the Ancient of Days did sit,
The Ancient of Days is the Most High, God, in other words.
whose garment was white as snow,
He had a garment on,
and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
so the hair on his head was like the pure wool. So God, who sits on the throne, he's a so-called black man.
That's right.
You see? It's in the Bible, so now we just proved it to
They
you.
got that new commercial, the iPod.
But I still worship
Right.
him. I don't care if he's got no
Well, that's
hair.
good. That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah.
But you gotta. But see, you gotta. But give me 1 John 5 and 10. I'm gonna show you something about. You gotta care what the Bible says, okay? Because I'm gonna read the scripture to prove it. But it's good that you don't care. I mean, that you don't have a problem with it. That's good. That's further signs that you might be an Israelite.
Well, when we were talking about this young fellow's hair, when I was younger, and my hair was longer,
It was curly.
I don't want to offend anybody by saying kinky.
That's not offensive.
It wasn't tight. It
Yeah,
was it was curly though.
Hey, well, that's
So I'm
a
just,
little bit more proof.
Well, I'm just saying it's just
This
like
is-
anybody can have.
This is 1 John chapter 5 verse 10. He that believeth on the Son of God
So he that believeth in Jesus, go ahead.
hath the witness in himself.
Uh-huh.
He that believeth not God hath made him a liar,
Uh-huh.
because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son.
The record. This is the record that God gave of his son. Because it tells you in Psalms 90, what's that, Hebrews, volume of the book? What's that, Hebrews? It tells you in Hebrews that he come in the volume of the book. The volume meaning all of it. He comes in all of the whole book. You can find the Lord in everything from Genesis to Revelation. I can point out where the Lord is in the book. Read it.
Hebrews chapter 10 and 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will.
The whole book is written about the Lord. So, see, the so-called Jews that wear the yarmulke, they say that the Messiah isn't come yet and all that. And some of them don't even believe in the Messiah, but we can point it out through the whole Bible that he's in there.
You believe he was Jewish?
Of course, he was a Jew.
Yeah. Jew. Okay.
Not Jewish. I'm teaching you.
No, I'm not.
The ISH on the end of Jew is a suffix, meaning like or pertaining to. So if I say, hey, Jim, meet me around noonish.
Absolutely correct.
That's not exactly noon, but it's close to noon.
I never put the two together.
Right. It's sneaky.
But
So they call themselves Jewish because they're like Jews. They try to keep the law like Jews, but they're not. They're not Jews by blood.
I wonder if they know what that means.
They know. They know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they know.
I never put that together.
Because when we were in slavery, you had in the 8th century, right? the so-called white man was calling himself the serpent people before the 8th century. That's fact. I'm telling you, I'm teaching you. They called themselves the serpent people, which is why over there, that's why they venerate the snake. They got the snake and everything, the snake in medicine. They got the snake in oil crests and everything. They worship the snake. Because they call themselves serpent people. Now, after the 8th century, they're Khazars, okay, the Khazar Empire, which is over there in Russia, okay. Now they had a king over them, which is called Kagan Bulan. That was the king of the Khazar Empire. You can read it, and he did a thing whereas his people were worshiping everything. They had no standard form of worship or anything. So he said, "I want to find out which God is the best God." So he took a Muslim, a Jew, and a Christian, and he said out of all them, he brought them in one by one, and he said, you know, you're a Muslim, but if you didn't have to be a Muslim, what religion would you be? And the Muslim said, I'd be a Jew, because those are the holy people.
Can't argue with that.
The Christian said, I'd be a Jew, right? So he said in his mind, well, let's convert our people to be the Jews, you know, because we were in captivity in Babylon. We were in captivity, or was it
the Israelites?
Yeah, but
when
anyway,
you say we, the Israelites.
The Israelites.
Okay.
You know, they were in captivity. So the so-called Jew, what he did was he converted into the religion of Israel. He took the laws of Israel, tried to make them his own. You know, he tried to do everything, but he failed because they worship the Babylonian Talmud, which comes out of Babylon. Idol worship. That's why they read the Talmud.
Everything you have said, I have no argument with. And you have your church and your worships, and I can't argue our beliefs because you just read them to me.
But but you follow the Bible, so me and you should be on one accord, right?
Well, I guess it's a.
I mean, no, we're reading out the Bible, are we not?
Again, I would be ignorant to say, to argue with you. I don't even know how to.
Now you said you're a Catholic.
No, sir, I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I said I was a Christian.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's fine.
What you go to church?
I do.
What denomination?
Episcopalian.
Episcopalian.
It's really close to Catholic. Yeah, Episcopal Church. It's very close to Catholic.
Now, are you familiar with the Protestant Reformation? All right. So you had the Catholic Church at the time was doing a thing called indulgences, where in like the 1400s they were charging people for the forgiveness of sins.
Right.
When you go into the confessional, I committed adultery. Okay, pay this much silver, ducats, and you'll be relieved. Okay. So Martin Luther, who started the Protestant Reformation, he didn't like that, and there was a few others that was with him. They didn't like that, so they protested, which is where Protestant from. They protested the Catholic Church, and they reformed the church, and they started the Protestant movement, which you have.
Martin Luther is brought up a lot in my church by our
right, because he was the main guy. You had a lot of other guys under him, but he was the main one. So you have Lutheranism, the Lutherans, which directly from Martin Luther. You have separatists, you had Quakers, you had Protestants, you had Pentecostals, Baptists, Methodists, Episcopalians. Okay, and I believe that word means elder. Episcopus, if I'm not mistaken. But so all these sects come out of the Catholic Church. Now here's something interesting to understand. Martin Luther didn't believe in indulgences, but he believed in almost everything else. You see? And the Pope is on record saying that he is God. Pope Leo said that. Matter of fact, I got a few quotes. I'll just read you a few things. Because I want you to examine the church that you're at. and examine your faith, okay?
See, the Pope says he's the vicar of Christ.
Right here, this is the Catholic National in July of 1895. This is a direct quote. The Pope is not only the representative of Jesus Christ, but he is Jesus Christ himself, hidden under the veil of human flesh. That's one. This is
Catholic
another.
Church said that, or he
Yes,
said that?
the Catholic National, July 1895. Here's
Not
another.
that
one.
either.
Here's another one from Pope Pius V in the Barclay, chapter 27, page 218. The Pope and God are the same, so he has all power in heaven and earth. Pope Pius said that. Okay. Here's Pope Leo XIII in June of 1894. We hold upon this earth the place of God Almighty. So there you are, a Catholic Pope saying right there that they are God. Now, like I said, Martin Luther didn't believe in indulgence, but he believed in everything else. The Catholic Church is the false prophet written in the book of Revelation. Now all these other sects, Baptism, Methodist, Episcopal, Seventh-day Adventists, they all fall under the umbrella of the Catholic Church. You see? Because they believe in every other doctrine of the Catholic Church.
That's the word.
You know, they show you the white Jesus like we showed the Cesare Borgia. They show you that. They teach you that when you die, if you're not right, that you're going to burn under the ground and Satan's going to poke you with a poker for the rest of eternity. That's not true. Okay? They tell you that Jesus was born of Mary, who never had sex. An angel came and got her pregnant, but yet he comes from the line of David. You know? That's not true. They teach you, what else do they teach?
That the Lord came for everybody.
That the Lord came for everybody. Like when the Lord tells you he only came for the Israelites. Okay, there's no such thing as being a spiritual Israelite. Because they tell you, well, you can be born again and you're a spiritual Israelite. There's no such thing. Either you're a flesh and blood descendant of these people or you're not. Okay? They tell you, they teach about rosary beads. I know Episcopals don't follow that. Do they teach you about speaking in tongues?
No.
No? Okay, that's another backwards doctrine too.
I believe that too.
Because the speaking in tongues that and talked about in Acts, they were just speaking other languages. Like other known languages. Yep, they tell you to pray to the Mother Mary, which it tells you in the Bible that there's only one mediator between God and man, and that's who the world calls Jesus.
Well, they pray to all the names.
Oh, and they tell you not to worship idols and don't, you know what I'm saying, and don't make merchandise of the word too. And that's exactly what they do in those churches. They erect idols and they sell them.
You're not supposed to make any image, but they do. They have those crosses with Jesus on it like this. That's an idol. You're not supposed to have that. It tells you that in Exodus, the 10 Commandments. That's number one, numero uno, you know. So my point is that your church and what they're teaching you is nothing different than the Catholic Church, except a few things here and there.
My take on religion, my take is to be a good person.
What does that mean?
Everybody say that.
Hold on. What does that mean?
And I'm just saying, and this is my thought, just to treat everybody good, you know, to be kind, to be generous, to be forgiven, or you know, to forgive somebody, and just be a good person.
Give me Proverbs 20:6 real quick. Now let me show you about being a good person.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness.
See, most men will proclaim to say, I'm good. I'm good. I try to do what's right, and I try to be. It says Solomon, who was the wisest man, told you that every man will proclaim his own goodness. Now let's see what the Lord said out of his own mouth.
King Solomon?
Yeah, King Solomon. That's what he. Read it again. That's coming out of Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness.
Right.
But a faithful man who can find.
Right. Now, let's go to where you at?
Matthew 19:27.
Okay, let's read that. Let's read what the Lord said.
19:17. This is Matthew 19, verse 17. It says, and he said, I'll start at 16. This is Matthew's 19, verse 16. It says, and behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Right, so they're talking to Jesus, right? You agree with that, right?
Sure.
Verse 17.
I mean, it's coming out of that book. I can't disagree.
Well, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page as far as he's saying good master, that they're talking to Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
So Jesus said, why are you calling me good? Go ahead.
There is none good but one, that is God.
There's none good but one, that's God. Now, there's two questions to
Absolutely.
you. One is, you just said you try to be a good person. So after we read in those two scriptures, can you be a good person?
Well, I can't be godly.
But yes or no, good person?